Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Quick trail run here with my Redcat Gen9. I love this truck, man. I really do recommend checking one of these out if you're looking for, I'd say kind of a budget crawler. I think this kind of checks off all the boxes, and especially when you consider the price. For one thing, Redcat is having a sale this month. This is June 2024. They're doing a big blowout sale. I think on the 28th they are actually doing a one-day sale on the Gen 9. So check that out. I'm not sure what it's going to sell for, but I picked this one up for $269, and at that price, this is a really great crawler slash trail truck. Pretty much whatever you want it to be, however you build it up. I'll just go over a couple things, what I have done to mine. I did install a Hobbywing Fusion Pro 1800 kV, and I bumped up the pinion size one tooth. I went with a 14-tooth pinion, mainly because of the fitment. With the Fusion Pro, it has machined cooling, almost heatsink on the outside of the motor case, and it's a little bit tight with the stock 13-tooth pinion. So I bumped up to a 14. Honestly, with the 1800, I would say even go with a 15-tooth, and you're going to have really great slow crawling ability, but in high gear, you're going to get some nice wheel speed. I'm pretty happy with this with the 14-tooth, but I think I might even go up to a 15 just to get a little bit more speed on the high gear, because it is fun blasting around in high gear. You could actually jump this thing. You'll see at the beginning of the video, and then at the end I kind of hit some little roots and jumps, and you could catch a little bit of air. It's fun just to kind of hoon around with this in high gear, and that's why I love having a 2-speed on a crawler. It just makes it a lot more versatile, especially like you're going to go out and do trails like this. You could just have a lot more fun with the 2-speed, and it works really well. The stock 2-speed shifter isn't the greatest. It's a little clunky at times, but the only thing you really have to do is just shift while you're moving at a very slow speed. Just crawl either forward, reverse, very low speed, and shift it then, and you won't have any problems with it. And just make sure that that 2-speed shifter is, the endpoints are set right, and it's going to work perfectly fine. I have no complaints about it. I'm still running the stock servo. I really don't have any complaints with that as far as a RTR servo goes, and running it in these conditions as a trail truck, I think it's totally fine. So I have no reason to change that at this point. Stock shocks, I have some little hold down straps on the front, stretchy hair bands, just to keep it from unloading on climbs. That works really well. I do have some brass portal weights up front, and on the rear I have just a little brass portal covers. They're not very heavy, but they add maybe 15-20 grams each, and I had them lying around from something else, so I threw them on here and it works really well. Wheels and tires, I was actually running this truck with class 1 wheels, class 1 tires, 4.19s, and I really liked it like that, but I decided to throw these on today. These are Endura turbine wheels, 1.9s, and I think they look so damn good on this truck. I mean, I love it. I think these are gonna stay on this truck because they look so nice. And I'm running the Traxxas Canyon Trails. These tires actually came off of my first crawler like years ago. Came off my Traxxas TRX4 Defender going back a few years, and I've had them sitting around. They are modded, so I did snip out some of the lugs and I siped the side knobs. You can find more info on that elsewhere on YouTube. There's a lot of people that have done videos on that, on how to mod them, but they work really well. It's a really great all-around tire, especially in my conditions. And I'm running, let's see, what inserts? Oh, so inserts, I have Crawler Innovation, the inner from a dual stage, and then the outer, instead of the foams, I am running hair bun material. It's just like a mesh. Again, there's videos on YouTube. I've done videos in the past on those, so if you wanted to check that out. But any like dual stage insert should work great in these, but I highly recommend the Canyon Trail tire. It's a great all-around tire, and you can find them pretty cheap, especially like RTR takeoff wheels. You can find them and then just debond them from the stock plastic wheels, and you're good to go. I do have the Redcat light kit in here, which I think is really cool. It almost looks like it's flashing at times, but you know how that goes with the LEDs on video. Sometimes appear to be flashing, but they don't flash. But they have the cool feature where the reverse lights come on, the brake lights work. It's just a really nice kit, and I think it's pretty affordable. Everything mounted up nice. It has the rock lights in there, so Really, really cool, neat install with that. Really happy with that. Let's see. The other thing I'm curious about, you guys, what if you guys are into driver figures? I've been kicking around the idea. I do typically like to have driver figures in my trucks. I'm not sure what to do with this one. I'm not even sure what size to get. If you guys have done it, hit me up in the comments and let me know. I'm kind of on the fence. It does add some weight. I'd like to find something that's sort of lightweight, but I think it would look better with the driver in it. And speaking of looks, I love the way this body looks. I did have an issue out of the box. It was very thin on the rear corners. I did actually have a crack out of the box. And I contacted A-Main, who I got it from. They actually gave me a credit, and they said I had to contact Redcat. I ended up just reinforcing it with some shoe goo and some mesh, and I did actually all the corners at the same time, because I kind of figured the Lexan is a little bit thin and almost a little brittle in ways. But I haven't had any issues since then. So that's been good. The only other thing I'd complain about with the body is it does have the quick releases up front, and it pivots on the back. Sometimes if you take a hard hit, which you'll see later on, if you do take a tumble, sometimes the body mounts up front just pop loose, and you just have to reattach them. It's not the worst thing. Maybe in a way it actually saves the body from taking a little bit of a beating just by popping loose. So I'm not sure. If it becomes more of a nuisance, I may figure out a way to make them fit tighter, but for now, I'll just live with it. So that's my one complaint with this. Other complaints might be that the trans is a little bit noisy. I've seen in places that it's actually the shaft between the trans and the transfer case fits a little too snug, and you could actually trim down one edge of that little drive shaft and give it a little more room, and it quiets it down. So I might mess with that. If it works, I'll make a video and let you guys know what I found out with that. Again, with the Redcats, you definitely want to check the front CV joints, and there is a little set screw in there that can come loose. I did not have the issue with my Gen 9. I definitely had that issue with my Ascent Fusion. They were loose. On this one, I checked it, and they were actually really tight, so maybe the Gen 9s are kind of immune from that. Maybe they put some thread lock on them from the factory. I'm not sure, but so far mine have been perfect. Only other issue I had today was my slipper clutch seemed to be a bit loose when I was in high gear, and I got bound up or tried to throttle it over a rock or something. I noticed it slipping a bit too much, but that's as simple as maybe I need to clean it, maybe a little grease got on there, but it could just be a little bit too loose. So I'll go in and snug that thing up, and it should be fine. But yeah, this truck, I have a lot of fun driving this thing. Considering that it's way more affordable than like a TRX4 or a Vanquish Phoenix or anything else that I would kind of put in the same category of, you know, a 1/10 crawler / trail truck that has some extra features like the 2-speed. It's way more affordable, especially if you pick it up on sale. I'd highly recommend that. If you could find this thing for what I got it for, $269, throw in like a Fusion SE. I would even go Fusion SE. You could even get away with the 1200 and just gear it up a bit, or maybe I'd go with the 18, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with that. But for the money, throw a Fusion in there and throw some good tires on it and whatever wheels, and you have a really, really great crawler for a very affordable price. I'm still running the stock controller on this. Everything is pretty much stock, and I'm happy with it. I really have, you know, very little to complain about, and I think it looks amazing. I think it's like one of the better looking bodies out there. I always loved the Gen 8 body. I think this has some distinct advantages in that it is smaller, more compact, and the approach and departure angles are really superior with this over the Gen 8, especially on the rear. The rear of the Gen 8 was just super long. This thing is tucked in like quite a bit more, and I do get caught up on the bumpers here and there, but very little. It's not even something you complain about. You just kind of, the only reason I complain about it is compared to driving, say, like more of a comp style crawler that has minimalist bumpers, if no bumpers at all, like my Capra or something. Just going back to a crawler that has bumpers on it, you kind of just have to be mindful of it and just take different lines. But that being said, these do not really get in the way at all. You know, it's just very occasionally you're going to get caught up on something, and you could always find like a workaround. I think with this tire size, is about right. The Canyon Trails are not the tallest tires, but I forget what they are exactly. Maybe they're like a 116, 118 mil overall, and they fit in the wheel wells very nice. I don't get much rubbing, and the clearance is just about right. Of course, with the portals, you really don't get hung up much, but compared to the Class 1s I was running, they did have an advantage in that it lowered the center of gravity, but I think overall it's definitely more capable like this, and I think this tire size really suits this. I think it looks just about right on here. And the Canyon Trails are a very good looking tire in my opinion. You could definitely find something a little more scale, but in terms of their capabilities and the way they look, I think these are just about right. So you'll hear during this video the wind picking up, and I would have actually had more crawling footage, but it got so out of control at one point. We were getting 45, 50 mile an hour gusts kind of out of nowhere, and I was in the middle of the woods here. There were branches falling down all around me. I was really afraid that I was going to get clobbered by a big branch and just be lying out in the woods unconscious next to a toy truck. So I kind of hightailed it out of there at one point. You'll see later on, I kind of look up and show the trees blowing around, and it really got crazy. So I didn't want to stay out there and risk it for too much longer, but you can hear right here, yeah, just the wind was really picking up and a bit crazy. So I kind of had to cut it short. But yeah, overall, guys, if you're considering buying a crawler, if it's like your first crawler, a second crawler, whatever, if you just want to have like more of a trail truck, something just to go out and have fun with, I really recommend checking one of these out. You know, they typically retail for like, I think $369, and even at that price, it's good. I wouldn't say don't buy one at that price, but I would say if you could find it on sale, absolutely jump on it, because it's a really capable rig once it's set up a little bit. Get the right wheels and tires on there, the right inserts, add a little bit of weight up front. You'll see it's not perfect. Look, it's still, I wasn't able to get this obstacle. It's still a fairly heavy body truck, but I feel like it's more capable than you would think, looking at the body, and also considering, you know, the price on this thing. I feel like it punches, you know, much more than its weight. If that's the same, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Punches higher than its weight, something like that. I don't know. You saw the body pop off there, but nice little slow-mo jump to finish this off, and that's it, guys. Any questions, comments, or if you love this truck as much as I do, hit me up in the comments and let me know, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.